So, my boys, look. We got another career simulation here now. Today is Marvin Harrison Jr. And let me just put it this way. Probably the best receiver to come out the draft in the last 20, 25 years maybe. 6'4", 205. There's thoughts that maybe he runs 4.3, low 4.4s at the combine. He has the catch radius of Megatron, Mike Evans. He also has the hand size of like a DeAndre Hopkins. This young man from Ohio State is special. And it hurts my heart to say that as a Michigan fan. But I mean, there's really not a receiver better than him. Now I know you see on the draft class, Malik Neighbors, great receiver. Emeka Egbuka, I don't want to mess up that name, but also from Ohio State, great receiver. Keon Coleman, probably in my mind the second best receiver in the nation. Even Rome Odunze from Washington. I mean, all of these guys are good, but none of them are Marvin Harrison Jr. Special. Just special. Now, as with all these career simulations, what we will do is start the NFL draft, and then we will travel to whatever team Marvin Harrison Jr. goes to and follow his career. So, let's go. We are the Baltimore Ravens. We're probably going to have an end of the first round pick. So, okay, I did not expect that. It just skipped to the first round, 30th pick. That's new. Did they just add that? Was that in the update? So we don't know when Marvin Harrison Jr. went at all. But I might have to. Maybe I put the auto on, and maybe that's why they did it so quickly. Usually that doesn't happen. Usually, we get to see the first, the second, the third. But in my mind, Marvin Harrison Jr. definitely goes top 5. Right? The only reason I don't have him going number 1 is because usually a quarterback goes number 1. Even though if the Arizona Cardinals do hold on to the pick, and let's say Kyler Murray looks good down the stretch of this NFL season, I could see Marvin Harrison going number 1 to the Cardinals. So, let's go to the draft recap and see what's going on here. Let's see where good old Marvin Harrison Jr. went. Okay, so Caleb Williams went 1. Ryan Hart from Clemson went 2. Okay, so he fell in the draft. This is going to be real nasty if he fell. Malik Neighbors ended up being the first receiver on the board. That's never going to happen. Keon Coleman ends up going to Buffalo. Dalvin Turner, there's no way he fell out the first. And Marvin Harrison Jr. goes to the Green Bay Packers. So we're going to hop over there. You saw he was an 85 overall. I mean, are they going to make him that in Madden when he gets in the game? I don't know. But I definitely think he could be an 80. If I'm not mistaken, I think Chase Young, when he was brought into the league and when he was put in the Madden, was at least a 79, 80. So you never know. But we're going to go to the Green Bay Packers. They probably still have Jordan Love, so I don't know how much that's going to help our efforts with making a dominant receiver. But you never know. A young quarterback gets a great receiver. Special things might happen. Okay. So the funny thing about this is, technically, this could happen. Jordan Love has been pretty doggone terrible this season, and the Packers could end up with a pretty high pick and maybe slide to get Marvin Harrison Jr. It would just depend how good they are down the stretch. However, having Marvin Harrison Jr., Christian Watson, Romeo Doubs, and Jaden Reed as a young receiving core is pretty spectacular. But we still have Jordan Love. Aaron Jones and also my dude from Penn State, Braylon Allen. And also pretty special, isn't it? Penn State? No, Wisconsin. Pretty doggone special. You got 2 backs. I don't know if they needed another running back unless A.J. Dillon. Oh, okay, A.J. Dillon's no longer here. So I guess that also makes sense. Packers are known for a 2-back system. The rest of this team, though, I mean, Bakhtiari is still here. Decent left side of the offensive line. Right side needs some work. Musgrave is a normal dev. And, I mean, this season he hasn't been bad, so I don't know why he's a normal. You would think the young players are usually a star. He might have lost his development trait, though. And then defensively, we still got top 5, top 3 corner Jair Alexander, Mr. Shutdown. Then we also have Rasul Douglas. He's actually been moved IRL. So they ain't got the roster update in here yet. Eric Stokes, decent defensive line, but I think we lost Rashawn Gary. And we definitely did. So Kenny Clark's the only guy here. And the linebacking core is not terrible. I mean, his team is young. I mean, that's pretty much all you can say about it, right? It's young. Marvin Harrison Jr., though, let's check out his stats. 6'4", 205. They still haven't fixed the glitch. He still turns into a Caucasian male when you try to edit him. Now, we're going to try to fix this just to see. I've been able to fix it. Not at all. Y'all can check any of the career simulations, and it hasn't fixed. You go to appearances, you go to head and skin. He's a Caucasian man, and you try to go through here, and you try to find him a different set. First of all, the heads aren't even popping up, so I think that's part of the issue. Okay. I mean, Marvin Harrison has dreads, doesn't he? I don't really know. I don't want to be disrespectful. None of these guys really look like him, but we'll go with this one. Hopefully, he can keep that going into... Okay, so it looks like maybe they did fix it. It just glitches when you download it. So we do have him no longer looking like a Caucasian male. Okay, so that works out. 85 overall. We'll actually go check his stats now, too, since we didn't get a chance to do that. 95 speed, 93 acceleration, 87 catching, 83 catch. I mean, he's the perfect young wide receiver for any team in this day and age in the NFL. And a passing league, who would not want Marvin Harrison Jr.? Special talent. Only thing he can't do is kick return, but I'm sure if you put him back there, he'll make some shake. So, hopefully the first year as a rookie will go well. I think my only concern so far with this team is Jordan Love is the quarterback, and I just don't think that's something that's tenable. So we'll advance to the mid-season point and check how Marvin's doing. Packers are 4-2 at the break, which is actually pretty good. We're going to go ahead and upgrade some of these players. I believe Marvin Harrison Jr. is probably definitely going to be on here as a player that's going to develop relatively quickly. Young receiver, probably getting the bulk of the catches here, even though Christian Watson is also a pretty talented young receiver. 6'3", 6'4", speedster. So, I mean, you got two dynamic threats on the side. Let's go ahead and check out the stats, though. Jordan Love, 1,400 yards, 12 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, receiving-wise. Jaden Reed had... What in the name? Marvin Harrison must have been hurt. He was. Okay, so for the first part of the season, Marvin Harrison Jr. was hurt. He only has 7 receptions for 95 yards, 0 touchdowns, and his longest reception has been 28 yards, and he's only played 2 games, which means so far this season he's been hurt. So Jaden Reed's been the number 1 guy in, Christian Watson, Lucas Musgrave. So honestly, we haven't seen much from MJR. And I ain't talking about the movie theater. But hopefully, going down the stretch here, he seems healthy now. I mean, there's really not much to talk about if the brother ain't balling. So let's go ahead and sip to the playoffs. We maybe should make it at 4-2 at the midseason point. Hopefully, Marvin Harrison Jr. gets going. We are 14-3 and the number 1 seed. Oh, that is special. That is special. Okay. So as I look at the stats, Jordan Love actually performed amazing. 4,000 yards, 38 touchdowns, 11 interceptions. That is not what he was on pace for at the mid-season point, but ridiculous. With a 70% completion percentage. Rushing yards, Aaron Jones was special. 1,413 touchdowns. Receiving-wise, Marvin Harrison Jr. definitely picked it up. 834 yards and 5 receiving touchdowns. So, even though he missed that first half of the season with a couple of injuries, got back in it, would have been on pace definitely for 1,000 yards as a rookie. Pretty electric. Christian Watson also did his thing, and Jaden Reed led the team with 1,112 touchdowns. Now, with the young team doing so well, we won the Super Bowl year 1. That would put Marvin Harrison on a crazy career arc. All right, what I'm going to ask you guys is, let me know in the comments if y'all want me to hop in the games with Marvin Harrison Jr. or anybody we do a career simulation with. Because I can. We won't do it this video, but if you want me to, we can hop in and see how they play. So let's go over to the divisional round and see if we made it. I mean, obviously we did. We got the first round bye. Y'all was tripping if y'all was waiting. You know what I'm saying? Upgrade players. Dontavion Wicks. He's probably out of the fold now that Marvin Harrison Jr. is here. Got the divisional round against the Philadelphia Eagles. You want to talk about a game that could be tight. Can we slide by the Eagles? And we do not. 28-14, we take a L. It will be very interesting to see how Marvin Harrison Jr. played in the playoff game. The Eagles have a very good secondary, at least in Madden. During the NFL season, they've looked terrible. Let's see. Jordan Love threw for 2. Okay, so this was a tush-push game as DeAndre Swift and the boys just got going. Jordan Love did not throw an interception. Had 201 yards, 1 touchdown. And the best receiver on the field actually was Christian Watson. Marvin Harrison Jr. really didn't get going as the number 1 guy. However, at the end of his first season, I would love to see if he was even... He probably didn't make Rookie of the Year only because he was hurt. So if we go to Offensive Rookie of the Year, he was number 4 for someone who was hurt and also behind, obviously, 3 quarterbacks, Caleb Williams, Drake May, and Shedeur Sanders. So it's understandable. It's understandable. However, a pretty good rookie year, 865 yards, I believe it was, somewhere around there with the 5 touchdowns. So we go into year 2. And I think what I might do is we'll stick with this offensive system for 1 more year. And then we might switch it up to something that has more of him featured as the number 1 receiver. Because it looked like Jaden Reed as the slot was getting a lot more of those touches. We got a new quarterback. So this should be pretty doggone interesting. Jordan Love probably wasn't the answer. I think we all knew that. I haven't even checked it yet, so y'all going to be just as surprised as I am. Oh boy. Michael Hamilton is the new starting quarterback for the Green Bay Packers. Don't know anything about dog. Not familiar with his game. 6'6", 229 pounds at age 22. That is ridiculous size. Marvin Harrison Jr., X Factor. Are you surprised? I'm surprised. The one thing I am surprised is, as Christian Watson is now taking a back seat to Jaden Reed, the one thing I am definitely surprised about is we didn't keep Jordan Love after he had a career year. I feel like IRL, you have 4,000 yards, that completion percentage, that amount of touchdowns, you probably stay. Offensive line still looks crappy. And then going to defense. I mean, it's pretty much the same phase, except we added... No, Campbell was here. Van Ness was here. All of these guys were pretty much here, if I'm not. Derek Nottie got added in free agency. We did add a young, strong safety, Dwight Cameron. This is kind of weird because I don't know where this guy traded from. I don't know if it was a trade or what. So, I mean, the team is, I guess, progressing. I don't have any, we didn't really make any movement because most of these guys are pretty young. The worry is that David Bakhtiari is probably going to retire soon as a Hall of Fame left tackle on his last legs. Yeah, 33 years old. I don't know how much longer he has left. But hopefully the rookie quarterback's pretty good. Marvin Harrison Jr. needs somebody who can get the football in his hands. Obviously, he can't throw it to himself. So, we got Kansas City Chiefs week 1. I will see you boys at the mid-season point. 5. I mean, can I be surprised? I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised at all. Young rookie quarterback is actually balling, though. 12 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, almost 1,700 yards. Receiving wise, Marvin Harrison Jr. has stepped into that number 1 role. Him and Jaden Reed are special. Christian Watson is kind of falling out, but and so is Luke Musgrave. What I think I'm going to do is we're going to switch up the offense now. Patrick Mahomes, I know, is the person that usually throws the most yards, but I want to see who usually gets the most receiving targets. As you see, like a guy like Stephon Diggs, we're going to go to the Buffalo Bills offense. Scheme matters a lot when you're, going through these career stimulations. So we're going to switch up our scheme and see if that changes anything as far as receiving yards. Marvin Harrison Jr. should probably be getting the ball more than anybody else. No offense to Jaden Reed. It's just probably how it should go. So, we're going to go to the Buffalo Bills. Sean McDermott. Stephon Diggs gets a lot of catches and a lot of receptions. So, at 2-5, we're probably not making the playoffs. We're like third in the division. However, it is kind of a tight race. Vikings are only 4-3. So we get a boost. You know, a couple 3, 4, 5 wins in a row. Maybe we have a chance to make the playoffs. Let's go ahead and jump forward. And no, we didn't make the playoffs. However, we did fight. 8-9 is not terrible. Stats and awards are what we pretty much focus on here, though. So, Michael Hamilton ended with 3,936 yards, 28 touchdowns, 9 interceptions. Pretty good for a rookie quarterback. Rushing yards, Aaron Jones is still balling. Receiving yards, and that is what I expected. 1,236 yards and 7 touchdowns for Marvin Harrison Jr. Now he's starting to come into his own. I mean, this is ridiculous. I mean, 6'4", 97 speed. That's the type of player you want on your ultimate team, right? Randy Moss carbon copy. Randy Moss 2.0. Might put that in the thumbnail. Before we go any further, speaking of thumbnails, please like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoyed the video, man. Helps out me a lot. I love to see the supporters. If you got any questions, please leave it down under the video in the comments. I do my best to answer all of them. You know, not missing out on many. But Marvin Harrison Jr., a great second year. It should only be up from here now that we just switched to the Buffalo Bills. Now the defense kind of has to catch up. Hopefully, though, we're going to look at awards right now. I doubt Marvin Harrison Jr. won the wide receiving award. Only because I don't feel like 1,200 yards is good but not great. So as we go to the NFC, Offensive Player of the Year, probably not up there. Offensive Rookie of the Year, Michael Hamilton does win it, which means he will get a dev upgrade, which is huge. Because when we got a X-Factor receiver, we need somebody who can throw that thing. Marvin Harrison Jr. did end up at 10 when it came to best receiver. And Offensive Player of the Year, was he up here though? No, he was not. So, I feel like this next year is probably where we're going to see maybe the Packers take a leap with the quarterback getting better. John Hamilton was probably going to get an upgrade. I'm going to make this adjustment. Probably should get the young fella start. We drafted another receiver. 6'3", 22 years old. I mean, it's like we got some of the... Now, Christian Watson's not playing anymore. This guy is probably going to start moving up the depth chart. I'll just move him up now. That's kind of crazy, though. We also drafted a new tight end that looks like... Well, actually, no, we just signed one for free agency. Which makes sense considering Musgrave hadn't really developed like we hoped. But pretty much the offense looks the same. We got some backup offensive linemen with some hidden devs, or just one. Backus. Backus is a backup. That makes sense. Defensively, I'm starting to wonder why we aren't re-signing people. Let me just go ahead and check something right quick. I guess we are signing a couple new people, but not a lot. You guys, somebody asked in the comments, do I got everything on auto? And this is what I be checking, because as I scroll down here, yes, we have everything on auto. So, I don't understand why maybe we're not signing any big players. But, like I said, still a young, good team. So, I can't be too mad about it. As we're going this time, not to go to the mid-season point, we're just going to jump ahead. I don't want to keep y'all here all day. So, jump ahead to the playoffs. Hopefully, we make it. But Marvin Harrison Jr. should definitely ball out with his young rookie quarterback, or young second-year quarterback. 9-8, and we make the wild card. One last hurrah. That's definitely about David Bakhtiari. We're about to lose our Hall of Fame left tackle. This is not good. Wait, hold on. Yeah. Yep. I was about to say, why is Mike Hamilton? This is his second year. Yeah. Team morale is up +10. We might still get our block knocked off. But let's go to the stats and awards. Right, that's what we're focused on here. 3,600 yards, 25 touchdowns, 13 interceptions. Mike Hamilton did not do better. He did worse. Receiving wise, 847 yards and 7 touchdowns for Marvin Harrison Jr. The young quarterback just can't get it to him. Once again, though, Marvin Harrison Jr. was hurt. He's had some injuries earlier in his career now. So I don't even have to look at awards because I know he didn't win any. However, hopefully, maybe we can make a playoff push and get past the Dallas Cowboys. As we maybe no. Oh wait, yes we did. It looked like it glitched out. We made it. One last hurrah. Shout out my boy David Bakhtiari hyping up the team in the tunnel. And now, do we get another boost because of that? Yes, we do. Going into the Rams game, we'll definitely look at the playoff stats too. I feel like that's also important for a player's legacy. You know, how did he perform when the chips were on the line? Let's go on ahead. And based on what I've seen so far this season, I don't think Hamilton probably got him the ball, though. I'm just guessing for y'all. I don't think Hamilton got him the ball. As we go here, Packers, we actually scored 27 points, so maybe he went crazy. Marvin Harrison Jr. did have 5 receptions for 70 yards. Jaden Reed got the touchdown. Jaden Reed's having a stellar career to start out with. But 27 points. Probably got some of those on defense or running the ball. Next, past the Rams. I think we can get past the Rams, though. Yeah. No, we couldn't. 31-26. Yeah. I'm not even going to click on that last hurrah. I know he's out of here. So, the third season was really disappointing. The question is, we're probably going to switch it up again, offensively wise. We might go to Bengals because of Jamar Chase. I'm just thinking in my head, maybe Jamar Chase is the guy. Also have to see where do they have him as far as, I don't know if they have him in the slot. Marvin Harrison Jr. can play in the slot, but I prefer to have him on the outside, right? So, yeah, Jaden Reed is playing the slot. We also have another superstar receiver who is going to enter the equation as Christian Watson's probably out of here. If you look at his development, Marvin Harrison Jr. is a 96 overall at 22 years old. How? I almost want to ask, how is that even possible? We're 3 years in. We'll check next year. If it's glitch, guess what? We'll figure it out. We'll definitely figure it out. So, we'll probably go to the Bengals offense next season and see if we can get his numbers up. The rookie quarterback that we drafted last year did not get better, Hamilton. The only problem is we're probably stuck with him for the next few years. Hopefully, maybe Marvin Harrison gets moved. Team is... we're getting better. Christian Watson's still here. I'm going to move Hatcher up to that second receiver spot. You want a young superstar playing. The offensive line has gotten better. Tight end progressing. The young quarterback still going up. We got a nice young back. Jair Alexander's getting old. DJ Reader is now playing D-tackle. Okay, we might have a little bit of a pass rush here. Chubb, I feel like he's on his last legs, though. 31 years old. Definitely on his last legs. Safety, we got anything in the back end? That's a crazy name. And Cameron Stokes, pretty much the usual suspects here. Right end is pretty doggone terrible, though. And then I think that was our same linebacker we've had, right? Was that not Quay? Let me just go ahead. I don't want to mess that up. I'm thinking that was Quay Walker. And as long as he could stay on the field, he's pretty doggone good. Yeah, that was Quay Walker. Okay. We're going to switch to the Cincinnati Bengals. Ironically, we play them week 1. And then hopefully that'll help out. We also probably need to check Marvin Harrison Jr. age to make sure EA doesn't make this glitched out. He should be 23 now. Okay. So, yeah, he's just really, really young. That's interesting. 94. So, did he go down in overall? Or it might have been morale. It just might have been morale. So, that's fine. We'll go ahead here and go to team scheme and switch it to Cincinnati. And we might just stick on Cincinnati for the rest of this career simulation because that should help him continue to be dominant as we'll advance to the playoffs. We finished 5-12. That's not making the playoffs. That's not reaching our goals. That's not striving to be better. However, our quarterback took a massive leap. 4,500 yards, 37 touchdowns, 8 interceptions. And then, yes, Marvin Harrison Jr. Still behind Jaden Reed somehow, which is blowing my mind. But Jaden Reed with 1,300 yards, 10 touchdowns. Marvin Harrison Jr., I think it really has to do with him being in a slot, even though Marvin Harrison did have more receptions. 1,100 yards, 11 touchdowns for Marvin Harrison Jr. You got to love it. I wonder, did the run game get going as well? Yeah, Braylon Allen was actually, well, no, that's not good actually. 3.7 yards a carry is not getting it done. However, he did have 935 yards and 7 touchdowns. The offense wasn't the problem. It seems like the defense was, maybe. Yeah, 31st. As guys are getting older, we're not able to stop anybody. That's bad. But Marvin Harrison Jr. with another great season. So what we will do here now, I will sim 5 years in the future, and we will see where Marvin Harrison Jr. is then. So if we are in year... Where do I see the year? Where do I see the year? What year are we in? Do they not show me? There's got to be like 2027. It's faded in right over the NFL draft thing. So I will see you guys in 2032. Okay. We made it to 2032, boys. It's been a long time. We are 3-0 in week 4. You know what I'm saying? But the main reason we here is to see how Marvin Harrison Jr. did while we were gone. Yes, he is still on the team. He is a 99 overall now. 28 years old. And while we were gone, let's see. So, the last season we were here with 2027. He's at 1,100 yards, 10 touchdowns. 1,000 yards, 7 touchdowns. 1,000 yards, 8 touchdowns. And 1,300 yards, 8 touchdowns. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 1,000-yard seasons in a row. And he's gotten off to a pretty decent start this year. Hopefully he's hasn't been hurt. We're only in what week is this? Week 3, right? Week 3, week 4? Week 4. So things have been going pretty well for him. I don't know about the success off, or like not off the field, but success as far as playoffs and awards. Probably didn't get any wide receiver awards. Only because when I look at those numbers, it doesn't make me think he had anything crazy so far. We're just going to go ahead and check awards. 2 Pro Bowl appearances. He was the league leader in receptions 1 year. That's pretty much it, though. Nothing crazy so far. He is signed to a 5-year deal, so he will definitely be with the Packers for the foreseeable future. My boy Hamilton has turned into a star at 6'6", 229. I mean, the boy, he's a superstar now. He's gotten up there. He's definitely gotten up there. The offensive line looks good. This team looks great. I'm not even going to hold you. This team, okay, well, the corners aren't the best. The safeties are good. Like, we're just a very balanced team right now. Okay. Now, I'm going to just make sure. I think we can just go ahead and check league history just to see. Because the team is so good now, it makes me think maybe we could have made one, but no. Did not make a Super Bowl. I'm going to stick with the same offense we've been rocking with. And hopefully, maybe this is the season we can break through as we're going to go ahead and send to the playoffs. We were 4-13. Like, I can't even explain that. It seemed like we had everything we needed. Let's just go ahead and go to the stats. 3,900 yards, 25 touchdowns, 28 interceptions. Complete precision not great. Marvin Harrison Jr. still 1,000 yards, 6 touchdowns. I guess it's just the defense, man. I mean, offense was actually 25th, so that's not good. This is odd. The defense has been terrible the entire time I've been here. I almost switch up the scheme on defense. I guess because I feel like that's where we need help at now. That's definitely where we need help because I feel like offensively superstar quarterback, X Factor, and maybe I'm just thinking in Madden head terms, right? I'm not looking at the team and thinking, well, maybe this needs to be better, that needs to be better. I'm thinking as far as, Madden head terms, I feel like we got a good team. Like, this is a team, if it was a 32-person franchise league, I could get somebody to fill the Packers. So I don't understand what is going on. Let's go to team schemes. I don't think they changed the Bengals. They did not. We'll go back to Buffalo. I'm going to change that as well. We'll go back to Buffalo. And then for defense, I don't know, the Ravens. I guess maybe we'll go Ravens. Do they got like any of the custom ones in here, or is it just it all teams? Yeah, it's all teams. I can't go like something crazy like 4-6. Okay, we will go the Ravens. Also try to match the scheme fit a little more. 3-4 storm, and we'll go vertical run. Okay, I'm gonna just advance it to the next season. And then after that, we'll probably jump 5 more years into the future. The roster. Good offensive line. Great tight end. Marvin Harrison Jr. still elite. Hamilton still a monster. Still got Allen in the backfield. Even a star fullback. Defensively. I mean, it also has to probably do with talent. I'm going to be honest, it's not the craziest defense. They're not terrible, but they're not great. So, hopefully, we can at least make the playoffs. Marvin Harrison Jr., I do not want him being one of those receivers that had a great career and was never able to make a postseason run. So let's go ahead and see if we can make it. I just feel I don't know what we could do, man. I don't know what else I could do to fix this team. Hamilton with another amazing season. 33 touchdowns, 6 interceptions, 4,000 yards. Rushing, we stopped running the ball as much, which makes sense. I mean, wasn't really doing much with it anyway. Receiving wise. So Marvin Harrison Jr. did not get over 1,000 yards. And the question is now, it's going to be very interesting if he's able to make the Hall of Fame. We haven't had another deep playoff run. And the way legacy score works in Madden, this is pretty disheartening. I'm going to advance. I almost don't want to do it because we don't know what could happen. He could retire. But we're in 2033. We're going to advance to 2037 and see if there's any movement with these Packers. 2037. And Marvin Harrison Jr. is on the back end of his career. We can go ahead and check how he's played. I mean, not bad, right? He had the one down season where we was in 2033. 1,300 yards, 13 touchdowns after that. 1,300 yards, 17 touchdowns after that. 1,400 yards, 8 touchdowns after that. And then 1,100 yards and 3 touchdowns the season that just passed. Now, we're at the end of the road, though. Right? Now, the defense is actually starting to catch up, it looks like, for once. However, Marvin Harrison's older. The franchise quarterback that we've had for the entirety of Marvin Harrison Jr.'s career, except for, the first year of Jordan Love, is now getting old as well. I don't know how many more seasons we have left. We will get to the end of this one as it says start the NFL draft. I guess I just got to simulate it and then we get to the next week. But this should be interesting. Does Marvin Harrison Jr. have a Hall of Fame case? I don't know if he was ever the best receiver in the league because he does not have that award. We'll have to check how many Pro Bowls he was able to secure as we can do that right now. It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough for him to get in. I don't know because even though he's had a lot of good seasons, and when I mean a lot of good seasons, I mean a lot of good seasons. 5 Pro Bowl appearances. He actually did win Best Wide Receiver one time when he was 2034, which was the year after we decided to sim. His season stats have been remarkable. I don't believe he's ever won a Super Bowl because we haven't made it there. So it's going to be, does he retire after this season is what we're looking at. Let's go ahead and get to the regular season, and then I'll just go ahead and send it to the playoffs. I will see you guys there. 12 again. You can't make some of this stuff up, man. And no, I can't explain it to you guys. Another great season pretty much for the quarterback. 4,000 yards, 21 touchdowns, 11 interceptions. Receiving yards, Marvin Harrison Jr., still 1,000 yards and 9 touchdowns. He's been pretty phenomenal even at his older age. This might be the end, though. Right? I think as we go into the sim to the next season, I don't think he makes it as he's almost, 35, 36 years old now. The odds of him making it maybe one more season. Larry Fitzgerald, I think, 37, 38, was one of the oldest receivers in the league. And then even on his last couple seasons, he didn't necessarily play as much as, especially not as much as he did when he was younger, but not even like when he was in his early 30s. He was more of a mentor. And then I think he might have been 1 year when D-Hop was there, possibly. So Marvin Harrison Jr. being at the end of his career, I would say with all those 1,000-yard seasons, maybe IRL he would be considered a Hall of Famer. Because I think I would have to count him. But having that many 1,000-yard seasons is actually pretty astonishing. And the ones he didn't was the year he got hurt, right? So let's go ahead and see. We go ahead and adjust the lineups here. And yes, I believe he did retire. So Marvin Harrison Jr. is gone. We won't get to see how many 1,000-yard seasons he had, unfortunately. It had to be over 10, though, because he went on, I think, 2 5-game streaks. We're going to go over here and check if he's still around. Marvin Harrison Jr. No, he has retired. That is a fact. So now we're just going to go over. He retired in the year 2030. I want to say it was 2039. Yep. Then we can go to stats and awards. Let's go ahead and see the legacy score. This should be interesting. Because as you can see, Matt LaFleur never won a Super Bowl, a championship, or had any yearly awards. So that makes you think Marvin Harrison, obviously he was a Packer the whole time, never won anything. However, he does make the Hall of Fame. Now, I believe the yearly awards must have been Pro Bowls. Because we saw he only had one best receiver unless he went on a streak down there late. He does make the Hall of Fame with a 16,356 legacy score, which is pretty special as he ends up being one of the greatest receivers of all time. He was not as good as some of these other guys. As CeeDee Lamb got a Super Bowl. Justin Jefferson was one of those stat guys that just... The next receiver, we might have to go with the Minnesota Vikings playbook. Jamar Chase had a couple championship games. Tyreek Hill had a Super Bowl, but that was with the Chiefs before he made it to the Dolphins. Brandon Ayuk ended up winning a Super Bowl. The Lions never did, but Amon-Ra St. Brown definitely made it to a couple championship games. Jackson Smith and Jigba made the Hall of Fame. So, pretty interesting. Marvin Harrison Jr. does make the Hall of Fame. That's pretty special. Before we get out of here, please like, comment, and subscribe if you're new. We will be doing more career simulations. This was just the first of many. But y'all already know I'm Ajax1K. And I'm out of here, man.